Hey, this is Matthew with Bipolar. In this episode of Being a PM at Microsoft, I'm going to focus really closely on one of the key aspects of effective communication, and that is having explicit agendas for your meetings. I hope you'll stay with me. Welcome back. If you are new to the series or new to the channel, please make sure you check out the introductory video for the series where I talk about my goals and plans. Essentially, I want to share with you advice that no one shared with me when I started as a PM at Microsoft 15 years ago. And I think that if you are a PM at Microsoft today, if you're in a similar role or at a similar company, or if being a PM at Microsoft is part of your career goals, then this video and the rest of the series will help you be more successful, basically help you avoid making some of the mistakes that I made over the last 15 years. And in this video, I'm going to get really tactical, but I think that this is going to be advice that, like so many of the PMs that I work with day to day, really need to hear. So if you work with me currently, I'm talking to you. Specifically, I want to talk about the importance of having explicit goals and agendas for every meeting that you schedule. This is part of the life of being a PM. I've mentioned multiple times throughout the videos so far, being a PM is about collaboration. You meet with people, you understand what they're doing, you help them understand what you're doing. Think back to the setting expectations video, like we're on the same page or on the same wavelength here. Meetings are where this work happens. So if you're scheduling a meeting, you're not only spending your time, but you're spending the time of everyone else that you invite. And it is like the gift that keeps on giving when you have a clear agenda included in your invitation that is very explicit about what the meeting is for, what you're going to discuss, what the goals are, and what you will achieve. A lot of these videos I break down into 1, 2, 3 tips. This one I'm just going to talk about the things that I think should be included in every meeting agenda. First of all, what are the topics that you're going to cover? We're going to talk about this and this and this. Say it out loud. Say it explicitly. If you don't say it explicitly, then other people will assume things that are wrong. Saying it in writing up front, this is a way that you can ensure that everybody, or at least everybody that's paying attention, can come in already on the same page that you are. Another thing to include, what are the decisions that you're going to make? And this doesn't apply to every single meeting, but it applies to most of the meetings that I'm in day to day and week to week. We need to make these decisions in order for this meeting to be a success. We're going to be working together to make these decisions, and this will let everybody know in advance they need to be thinking about these things. They need to do their mental homework before the meeting begins. You need to be explicit to say what outcomes need to be achieved for this meeting to be successful. What's your SHIP criteria? When we've done these things, we won the meeting. And it could be that simply, this is the outcome that we work towards, or it could be if you've got an hour-long meeting scheduled and you meet these goals, you've achieved these outcomes after 40 minutes, everybody gets 20 minutes back to do other work during their day. These are the things that I believe should be included in every meeting invitation. And when I step back, I probably don't do this every single time. I don't bullet for every single meeting. But what I do is in every meeting, even if it's just a one-on-one, I put together quick thoughts for what I want to cover or what I expect that meeting to achieve. And if there's a larger group meeting, if there's more than 3 or 4 people in it, then I do have an explicit agenda that covers these topics. In addition to thinking back to the video on setting and maintaining clear expectations that's part of this series, think back as well to the video that I did close to a year ago on the 5 questions that I ask every time that I'm communicating at work. So who's my audience? What are my goals for communicating with this audience? What do they care about? Things along those lines. This really applies to meetings as well. When you're scheduling a meeting, especially if there are explicit goals that you need to achieve for that meeting to do what you need it to do. Thinking about who your audience is, what do they know, what do they care about, what are they working on today? Like, these are the things that if you're really clear in your own mind before you schedule the meeting, you can take these basic steps to ensure that when the meeting begins, people are prepared to align with your goals. And like, sometimes you need to schedule a wallow, right? Where in my mind, a wallow is an unstructured meeting where the goal is to get closer to a shared understanding of something. Sometimes your agenda simply says, let's wallow about this topic with the goal of being on the same page, or with the goal of having a shared understanding about X and Y and Z by the end of the call. Like, that's perfectly fine, but say it in advance. Because here's the deal. Nobody has enough time in the day to do everything that they're asked to do. Everybody is always making these hard trade-offs, asking what do I cut, and then cutting something that they really didn't want to cut. When you schedule a meeting and you include this explicit, clear agenda, you're helping them to understand what you're asking, where it fits into their priorities, and helping them get more return on their investment of time. And this may even mean some people can look at this and say, I don't need to be in this meeting. Just include me on the outputs. What an absolute win that is. You've saved them the time, you've made your meeting more productive, you've achieved your goals with less effort all around. This is absolutely epic, and it's only possible if you communicate clearly and include that explicit, clear, meaningful agenda in the meeting invitation that you send. Short video, very tactical. I want to point out, nobody that I work with does this. I said at the top of the video, like, I'm talking to you. Like, if you ever schedule a meeting with me and you do this, you are my hero of the day. And for those of you that don't do it yet, love to see that change in your day-to-day behavior. Maybe this video is the gift that I'm giving to my future self. I hope this is valuable for you as well. We'll see you next week.